and welcome back to my garden. I'm not on screen today, and you'll have to excuse my voice. I have been very, very ill for the last few days, for the week basically. And today is the first day all month, I feel like, actually maybe more than longer than that, that I've been able to actually come outside and sit and have coffee and read my Bible plan and do all the things. Y'all know I love being out here. But after not being in the garden, other than just to harvest food for dinner, you come out and you see all the things that need to be done. In my previous gardening video, you see all these beautiful yellow flowers on these tall stems. Yeah, those are brassicas that prematurely went to flower. In my last gardening video, I showed them and I decided to cut some leaves off and cook them because those leaves are edible. And actually quite delicious, but that was not enough to keep them in check. So now today I'm sitting out here and I'm looking at all the things that need to be done, including some weeding over there. Look at all the weeds on the ground. Things are still growing, but the weeds are in places where there's nothing growing, which is natural. They want to grow. Something wants to grow on bare ground at all times. That's why most people do intensive planting in home gardens. So anyway, my point in all this is I need to get out here and do some work when I'm better. But for now, we're just going to get these flowers off of these brassicas. My husband offered to take those off for me because I cannot get out here and work right now because of being ill. Prayerfully, I've taken medicine, prescription medication, and from my doctor. And prayerfully, I will be better later on in the day or maybe even tomorrow and can get out here and actually cut them down and separate the leaves. So there's hubby helping me. Let's go take a close up of what's going on out here with these. That one that he's cutting off of now is broccoli. Those three on the very end are broccoli. These two maybe cabbage. One on the one side of this one right here is probably broccoli. The other looks like cabbage. And then this one right here has got to be cauliflower because that's all I planted on that side. So let's go take a closer look. You guys, I really hate to do this, but these flowers have taken over. And in my last gardening video, I did come out here and cut back some of the flowers on these brassicas. And I cut some of the leaves and cooked them because they're not going to produce heads. Like, if it's already gone to flower, it's not going to produce heads. So I came out here and I was just like, if I felt better, I would come out here and cut these down so we could actually plant things in these spaces that will actually grow. You see, like the ones that are small right there, where are they? Right up in there. You can kind of see them in between. Those will still produce because they haven't gone to flower yet. But these are not going to do anything except the pollinators. There's bees everywhere. Hubby said, he offered to come out here and help me with this because I'm still sick. He offered to come out here and cut the flowers down at least. But then he said, babe, there's a ton of bees over there. What do I do about them? I said, be careful. But now I feel bad because the bees, the pollinators, we need them. And they are loving these flowers. So I don't know. I'm so torn. I know I need to cut some of these down, cut them all the way back. But maybe I leave one small one so that, y'all see those bees flying everywhere? Let me see if I can catch one on a flower. See, there's two right there. They love, 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 love these flowers. There's another one. There's two. And here's hubby. I'm going to work for me, for us. I mean, we feed the family out of this garden, this small backyard garden. I'm hoping that the marigolds will still be enough for the pollinators to keep them around because we really do need them, and we haven't seen them much over the last year, especially during the summertime. I don't know if it was just too hot or what, but look, hubby helping me out. He's so good to me. Anyway, we didn't see many pollinators over the summer. I think it was just too hot and there was not enough water. But so these need to come out, as you can see, right? I was trying to show you this earlier, right here. They take up a ton of space. Like, one plant, even though the base is not that huge, let's see, I'll show you that. The base is not that huge, but it takes up a ton of space. So we need to get those out of there so we can actually put something there that's gonna grow. Like these, those are normal size. Those look like they should look. Um, but yeah, those have all got to come out so we can make space. And maybe we leave one down there because I don't have as many flowers planted down there. I have zinnia, but it's dying too, and tons of weeds. And hubby already made it very, very, very clear. Hey, I'll cut these back for you, but I'm not pulling weeds. I hate pulling weeds. Who loves pulling weeds? I think the only person I've ever known to love pulling weeds was my grandmother. So look how great a job hubby did out here. Everything looks so clear. I do feel bad for the bees, but we did leave this one broccoli plant with some flowers. We just chopped it back a little bit with some flowers. We left that for the bees, and I'm hoping that between that and the flowers that we have planted, that will be enough for the pollinators. Speaking of flowers down on this end, while he was doing that, I did come out and harvest quite a few green beans. I think I did a lot better with these this year because last year hubby was like, you didn't grow nearly enough beans. This year I grew bush beans because last year the pole beans had tons of worms. So I grew a bunch of bush beans, and we have harvested off of these for weeks and weeks, and like lots of them. This week, I was harvesting off of a plant that was either right there. It was on one side of this brick. It was either there or there, not sure. But as I was pulling off the beans, the whole plant came off in my hand, and I thought that's bizarre because there were a ton of beans on it. But it turns out it had some worms, which I will show you a picture of. And so it was like a good thing that it just popped off. It clearly was not going to make it much longer. But I just want to show y'all this, how great plants are, how resilient they are. Even this little bitty plant right here, this one, let's see, not the weeds. This one right here is so tiny. Like it barely has any leaves on it. It looks like Mexican beetles have been on there. But it even had some beans on it. So here's what I harvested from the beans today. And a couple of Tabasco peppers that were on these plants that are not supposed to be here. They're volunteers, and I just let them go. And they really should be gone by now because they are out of season. These like hot weather, but clearly they're doing things, so I leave them alone. That's not enough to make Tabasco sauce, but it is definitely, something I can add to just like my pepper sauce for greens and things. And speaking of greens, my collards. So these three plants, let me back out a little bit. These three smaller plants right here, 1, 2, and 3, I literally came out here and topped those off. Like when I say top them off, I literally just cut off the top of the plants, each one of them. And some of them had extra stems growing out from the sides. I cut all of those off. And where I cut, they just started growing again. I cut them off with the intent of coming out here to pull up the plant, but then once they started growing, I left them alone, and there they are producing. Same thing with this big one right here. This is my tree. I call this my collard green tree. You see I have a brick propping most of these up because the stems are really heavy. That's my tree. I had another little one growing like right here where this brick is, and I actually pulled that one up. But this one, I was thinking needed to come out. Like a week ago, I was saying to myself, I need to come out here and pull this up because it had a lot of bug damage. You can see there's still some there. Cabbage worm, either cabbage loopers or cabbage worms. And so you can see some of these do down here as well. But they all have new growth. So a lot of times what I do is I will leave some of the bigger leaves down below and let the bugs have them. And I will collect the new growth. But this right here, like I said, I was going to pull these out. And now I'm just like, no, we can't pull them out because they're growing. They're growing. And I just come out and check the centers from that, check them to make sure there's no eggs in the middle on the new growth. And like I just took 2 or 3 leaves off of the bottom of this one that had damage like that, and just leave the rest. These I haven't touched, and I probably won't today because I'm getting a little bit winded from the cough and everything. But I did want to show y'all that because these greens have been out here for 2 years and have been producing really, really well for 2 years. And now I'm thinking I'm going to let it go to see what it's going to do before I take them out. Even though the plan was to do that today or sometime this week. So anyway, that is my update from the garden. Hi, neighbor. That is my update from the garden. Hubby did all this work for me. Lola, she kept us company. But it feels good to be outside, and I'm so grateful to him for helping me because I feel like I've neglected this. So anyway, that's all from the garden today. Thank you guys for joining me yet again. And as always, thank you for your support. And if you like this video, please like this video, share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe and turn on that notification bell. Thanks again, guys. Bye.